All this is causing a change onto what is called as an organization's application security program. And this panel, we will utilize the next 45 minutes to discuss that, saying that how is application security program of an organization has changed because of all these things. And then to start with, it's a privilege to have Ketan with us. So Ketan, the first question which I have for you is that we know the TCS is large, one of the largest organizations in the IT security, IT world, operates in a number of geographies, multiple sectors, facing different regulators, facing different kind of clients. Apart from that, just an external face, you have an internal face where you have a huge number of applications, developed centrally, developed locally, developed in silos. So how does all this impact your organization-wide application security program? How has it changed or evolved over the years?
Thanks, Mubin. So, for TCS, customer centricity has been on the forefront, and security being one of the priorities for them. We built our application program years back when very few applications were developed or deployed with a dynamic code. So AppSec program is that old, and it evolved over a period of time. And as Mubin mentioned, we moved from a waterfall to agile, now sec DevOps. So it evolved over a period of time. So in TCS, we have developed a software security assurance framework, and that's a one standard across TCS. So from any geography, any location somebody is developing a software, they use this framework. So the outcome remains secure. There are few tailoring that happens based on the regulations at the different geographies. So for example, in certain geography, you need to encrypt the data in a certain way. So those tailorings are done. Otherwise, the rest of the things remains constant. So we evolved over a period of time, and we are still evolving. So with the new technology that are coming up, TCS has developed a Business 4.0, which is a leadership framework, and we are aligned to it. AppSec is going into every vertical, and we are strengthening our internal as well as the customer applications with the program. Thank you.
Okay, great. I really like that the software assurance model. That's what it is. Good. So move to Vikram, to you. I know you guys are the pioneer of the online travel industry, and where the industry, the margins are razor thin. And in that, where you need to have very day-to-day releases, and all the releases has to be faster, better, and cheaper. And in that, I don't see the word secure comes in. So how does that balance out happens at MakeMyTrip?
So I think so. I'm not going to replicate what Ketan sort of walked everyone through. One of the key aspects of what we try and strive to achieve is burn security, especially application security, in every engineer across the organization, so that security is sort of built by design, built in code, and such that issues are identified as early as possible in the SDLC. How that helps is mitigation of issues earlier, lower tax in terms of deployment time. Having said that, nothing is perfect. There will always be some of the other changes that might slip past, go into production, right? So how does one monitor? Monitoring is another key aspect that we've sort of dealt with for a while now. For example, one could, let's say, monitor application logs. I think someone once said logs never lie. So whatever changes have gone into production can be sort of picked up by logs, analyzed, and then forked out in the AppSec process. That's one thought we like to share. Apart from that, assurance is another key aspect. So again, no matter how stringent your AppSec program is, there are always hackers out there who might have an upper hand, who might do a better job. Another program that is increasingly helped with the AppSec program at MakeMyTrip is running a public bug bounty program. Managing that well also helps, as an assurance piece that the AppSec program is actually effective in a manner.
Okay, great. Yeah, the bug bounties, everybody is adopting it. So let me move it to the Erez. And Erez, you are being a panelist is good for us because all the future risk-related questions are going to be directed to you. So Erez, you have heard from the TCS saying that how do they work on the app security. You have heard from the online industry portal kind of thing, how do they work. But how do you see that future or risk related things will be handled by an app security program when the artificial intelligence or machine learning is going to be part of your applications or software?
Okay, so first of all, unlike the other colleagues in this panel, I come from the angle of application security from the research side. We actually create and deliver the solutions that will help lower the software exposure of our customers. As you said, in this era where everything is has such high speed of delivery, we also have to adjust. If in the past we could just take any monolithic application, throw the code at the scanner and get a result out of the box, we're not there anymore. There's no one solution that fits everyone. We have monolithic solutions, we have microservices and cloud and lambdas. Our job at the moment is to become more customizable for our customers because no customer is like another. Regarding the future of the technology, again, you mentioned ML and AI. These are becoming, it used to be buzzwords, it's no buzzwords anymore. It's actually becoming actual tools that can be worked with. Let's say AI more ML at the moment. We're seeing a lot of tries to put it into our solutions in order to make sure that we find more vulnerabilities, make sure we have less false positives. The breakthrough is not here yet, but hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon, yeah. Good. Thanks, Eric, for that. Erez for that. Now, we are moving to the completely different world with the GSTN. We have seen that this is one of the huge successful implementation of large data handling and anytime and every time of the day. So when the scalability is a challenge, when scalability is a requirement and availability is the utmost requirement, how do you integrate those business or Indian citizen requirement into your AppSec program?
Thanks. First, thanks for acknowledging that it's a successful implementation. There are
Okay.
okay, but yes, we also feel that it's a successful implementation, given the facts that what are timelines and the continuous changes which are still flowing in, and we could deliver the required application and facilities to the taxpayers. So, coming back to the question, so the scalability, availability, and other requirements are part of the key design principle of the system. So GST system basically based on few key parameters. One is security, privacy of the data, the scalability of the infrastructure, it is the availability, and all those traditional parts are there. But one of the other key requirement is no vendor lock. We are using open source very heavily. While the open source has its own advantages, but it throws good security challenges for the security professionals. And for that, no doubt, application security has to be stringent, but other security testing parts and the functional testing parts also should follow in line with that. So, application security testing is part of the SDLC or the CICD pipeline or the
Secure SDLC.
Yes, secure SDLC. So we follow secure by design, secure by operation, and other keywords which we have used as DevSec, DevOps. So I call it as DevSecOps. Okay, this is the fourth additional dimension. And while even security is considered, even while selecting the tools or technologies which we are adopting for use in the GST system development. Right from there to the development, the application security is included. It is done by, say, an independent group before releasing any change or new application in the production. And whole these engagement or arrangement is driven by or tightly coupled with a governance framework where multiple stakeholders have periodic reviews, and whatever learnings are there, it goes into the system as a learning, and to say identify the problems early and have a remediation early.
Okay. So I'll come back to you on the use of open source. But I just want to pick up from there, saying that you have a whole governance mechanism, and Ketan, I want to come to you, saying that the product release frequency is higher, vulnerability finding rates are higher, but the vulnerability fixing rates, and one of the research which I was thinking or reading it was that still takes an average 30 to 38 days to fix the vulnerabilities. So if my release frequency is higher, but my fixing rate is low, how do you deal with the situation?
So your statistics is far better than what you mentioned. It doesn't take that much time to fix the issue. And thanks to our SSA framework where certain things are basic, so authentication, authorization, audit trails, logging, cryptographic data protection, input validation, all these are inbuilt. So in a way, some of the tools that we use, we no longer need to use those tools because we have secure components that we can reuse. Okay. But from a triage perspective, where there is a need to release and there is a
need
to test, that's a big challenge. And if there is a vulnerability, we have a policy which is more like a zero tolerance towards known bugs. So this works for security as well as for the functional bugs as well. So we don't release anything where there is a known bug. If there is a need, say a customer wanted to release a feature, for example, there is an online system where a key feature needs to be released and it has a problem, then it runs through a validation like CDSS is a good framework where we evaluate what is the severity of problem, exploitability of the problem, and then make a decision. So in consultation with customer, we make a decision and it's a risk-based decision. We may have a technical issue which says low. However, if it's more like a reputational risk, probably we treat it as a high business impact. So that's how we do triage.
Okay, good. So I'm then going to come back to you, Vikram, on the same which Anand said that for your industry also, the use of open platforms, open sources, shared libraries is a must. And with use of those, you know that you are inherently putting the risk into your software. So how do you deal with those? Is it just a governance, or is it beyond the governance which you are using right now?
So I think fundamentally we sort of assess commercial, in-house or open source platforms at the same level. So there should be no differentiation of a cost product versus an in-house versus an open source. It's an application at the end of the day that is meant to serve customers that should be again assessed from a security standpoint as stringent as the other two. So I think that's the fundamental belief that we have. Having said that, any open source component that is taken in will have its own risks. It will be important to scan, assess them, and monitoring is another critical aspect that is very, very important. The way vulnerabilities in open source products are detected and disclosed, the rate of exploitation might be far faster as compared to an off-the-shelf or an in-house product. So the response times and monitoring clubbed together is a very important aspect. We all know what happened with struts, Apache struts going out in the wild. It is very important to ensure what impact that causes. As Ketan was saying, a vulnerability exists, but where does that vulnerability exist? And the response time basis the impact is the key to ensuring security while using open source products. We don't believe open source is bad. And there's tons and tons of open source software that we leverage from a security standpoint as well to help us secure our applications and platforms as well. And they've done a fantastic job for us.
And you treat them as the same as in-house development?
Absolutely. We definitely have.
Perfect. Good. So I'm just taking the thread forward, and this is for Erez, for you, saying that we all talk about the static application security code review, we talk about the dynamic application security code review. But again, for the code reviews, where the product companies are coming and giving a product, where there's an input file and an output file, and the code analysis is being done. But again, I'm coming to the agile or sec DevOps, saying that if you have many releases per day, how is your app security program geared up to handle the code reviews in this scenario?
Okay, so you mentioned SAST, you mentioned Dust, static and dynamic. Each of these scans fit to different parts of the flow, general flow in general. And you need to consider several tracks. First of all, one track can be considered as the fast track. Let's call it the gated track. This is where you need to quickly find the real critical issues. Each organization will obviously define the criticality by themselves. I would say that the SQL injection on the login page or something that breaks compliance would be critical, and other things less than critical. But we need to make sure that the criticality is defined well. We don't want to pull the plug and stop production for everything. And this is probably the worst thing we can do, because while vulnerabilities are a risk, not being able to deliver is also a risk, which we sometimes forget. There can be parallel tracks when we check and remediate the other things that are not considered critical, but this should not be in the out of the process, not blocking anything.
Okay. So before I go to Anand, I want to just take the question further. Say that, let's say, in a blockchain kind of scenario, where an organization wants to adopt the blockchain for that matter, how will be the, in your view, what should be the application security program should be?
Okay, so blockchain became kind of a fix-all buzzword at the moment. Currently, it can do anything. We didn't see it do everything yet, but it's getting there, I'm guessing. I think the big plus of using blockchain is the way you reserve the data. It gives you the availability and integrity that you need, but all the rest, the logic, is about an application that actually touches and manipulates this blockchain. So the same things that we look at and search for application security in regular applications, we will do the same with blockchain. You have also the ideas of smart contracts, which is actually money made out of software in a way. This also, we're seeing more and more developers going into smart contracts, touching blockchain, and they actually manage to find ways to shoot themselves in the foot also. So this also will very soon need to be part of every application security program.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. Okay, so let me move back to the GSTN. And again, so when we used to develop, let's say, an app security program for an organization, the first step we say that classify the applications. High critical, medium critical, low critical. When it comes to GSTN, everything is critical. So how have you addressed this scenario? Because the more critical, if you have to test everything and anything, it requires resources, it requires times. But you have to have, again, I'm coming back to the same point, that you have to have been available all the time. So how do you marry these requirements to it?
So, you're right, actually in GSTN almost everything is critical. Say, we also have a classification. So it's a traditional way of doing it. We take again the classification risk-based approach to prioritize the control implementation and perform the activities. But yes, in case of GSTN, most of the things are critical. Whatever is public facing, say we have categorized, you can even say that I will not disclose the classification, but yes, it is critical, high critical or less critical. But in terms of, if you look at that, basically help us to address the problem, because in terms of criticality, it is all same. so that the entire AppSec program is not only AppSec but the security architecture, design, implementation and management. All the security aspects are, the security is included in all these stages. So that is actually helping us. So whatever traditional ways we are trying to maintain the security in terms of performing periodic security testing, monitoring the entire infrastructure including network, devices, application, databases, following the zero trust principles. So we are using technologies which kind of control the access and the monitor the same. While we are doing our homework, so we are audited by this application itself is has high visibility from Government of India, and multiple entities are auditing us. Say for example, STQC has performed multiple audits. We are recently audited by CAG. That was one of the longest audit I have faced in this organization. It was almost for 2.5 months by a team of more than 15 auditors from various parts of the country. We are audited by various security intelligence organizations. So it kind of keeps tabs on us and keeps us always on the toes in terms of security. We are continuously monitoring. While we are discussing problem, we are also taken multiple security initiatives. So while we are talking, black box testing is happening. We have just completed the phase 1. Now we are entering into the phase 2. We are working on other initiatives such as just floated a GRC RFP, which will kind of give us the business as well as process assurance continuously. Also, we are working on security monitoring and analytics center, which will focus on the security analytics, threat hunting, and increase our visibility to the known unknowns or unknown unknowns, and help us to address that. So I think with this, so far, touch wood, nil security breaches or incidents impacting the application availability we have also, and we will continue doing that.
Okay, so what I'm getting is that the app security program you have embedded into the different things, not just one standalone program. Great. And I want to take that word from Anand to you, Ketan, is saying that at the end of the day, the person, how good your app security program is, also depends on then how good your talent pool is, how effective your testers are, and how less mistakes being done by the humans, both at the development end or testing end together. So, and I'm sure because of we all being human, this kind of things is going to happen. So how do you address this, both the things, with the human mistakes as well as the talent thing?
Okay. So human mistakes are going to happen. When I look at a code that I wrote 15 years back, I could think that yes, I could have written in a better way. So that's going to happen with every developer. What we do is we have put in a training program. So it has multiple aspects. One aspect is putting security in a design thinking. So at the solutioning stage or a requirement stage, we think about security. Then it comes to agile. It will cover what Vikram said, that you have a microservices based architecture where you go on releasing the features quickly. So how you embed security into agile. And there is one thing that would be part of every software, and that's either a code or a configuration. So we ensure that the teams who are delivering are trained enough, skilled enough, knowledgeable enough from a security standpoint, and that comes a DevOps. So we made it a SecDev, SecOps. So ensuring that when you release on a cloud or in-house, making sure that no human intervention is present. There are few tools which have, and we write our own scripts to ensure, and then we secure the scripts itself. So when we write code first, it needs to be secure. We don't follow a model where somebody write a code, then at the end of a cycle somebody detects the problem, then somebody need to fix. So basically it is a cost, a rework cost we want to reduce, and that's why we are saying write it secure first.
One thing to add to what Ketan mentioned, no matter how many controls sort of one embeds, an organization embeds in the software development lifecycle, it should be with the premise that something will get missed someday. And nobody's perfect, no organization is perfect, right? Similarly, no processes are perfect. So the premise should be detecting, the ability to detect misconfiguration, the ability to detect bad code even once it's in production, with the premise that no code is 100% secure.
Great, yeah, that's a good point, Vikram. And I want to just trouble Erez asking this question. So, will we have a tool or products which will correct the mistakes of the developer while he is writing the code? I don't want to do a secure code review as a reactive one, but when somebody is writing the code, are there products or technologies which will help or tell him, say that no, this is a mistake, then and there?
Okay, so actually we're getting close to that. For example, we and other vendors of security tools also have plugins that go in the IDE. The developer does not need to learn anything new. It's the environment, UI, UX, they already know. They can actually check the code before it is committed, before the check-in, and know what's going on there. Other solutions that are emerging at the moment are the kind of spell checker solutions. We do not see a real message coming from that at the moment. Static code analysis is complex. When you want to go deep and actually scan the flow of the code and not just look for specific syntax issues, things that you can find with a regex or a Control F, you need to go deep into the code, consider other things that may be not in the present file, etc. So there are no real spell checker solutions at the moment. I think everyone is working on it because this can be the next step. It will be very helpful.
Any prediction when they're coming?
It's probably coming.
Okay,
Probably soon.
so, okay. Good. Thanks, Erez, for that.
I wanted to add something regarding the human errors. We're talking about doing the automation and everything that both we mentioned. I think we should not forget that developers come to us sometimes with not enough awareness in security. So to create a full program, secure program, probably some education should be embedded strongly in the beginning steps of every onboarding of every developer. And I'm not talking about the kind of for compliance, because education for compliance is what it is. Education for compliance, not for security.
So in that case, what we do is we focus more on security, and compliance becomes a byproduct of that.
Okay, yeah, good point. So I want to take the same thing what Erez said is that in GSTN, as we say, and he said that we need to educate or train the developers because that's the first important step also. And we have seen the research say that 50 to 60% are the old issues also which gets every time. The vulnerability is the same and again in time. So how are you addressing that issues?
So okay, in our case, our MSP is a known entity in the industry, and they have handled these programs or such projects in our vendors product. So that is quite helping us. No doubt, awareness, training, all these aspects are important. But I think most importantly, the monitoring and the control around it is equally critical. Okay, because so howsoever automation we do in security testing or security management, at the end of it, the human intervention is must. And human being very strongest link in whole kitchen, but it is the weakest link also.
Correct.
And that has to be continuously kept in mind. And we, as Vikram said, that yes, whatever security we implement, mistakes are going to happen, and there will be problems. But it's more important that how we can minimize the frequency of or occurrence of it, and how quickly we can address it. So that's the key. So So we are addressing it in a traditional way. So there are training, awareness, audits, monitoring. So that keeps on happening.
So you think that's one of the most important area which an AppSec program should not forget about. Good, thank you guys. And before I open to this esteemed audience, I just want to do one rapid fire question with your permission. So rather than me asking a different question, I'm going to ask one question to each of you, and I want a very rapid fire question. And let's try to be true to ourselves. So one word which comes to your mind when you think about AppSec.
Securing company's business.
Sorry?
Securing company's business.
Securing company's business.
Should be robust.
Robust.
Ownership.
Ownership.
I'll say predictive.
Predictive. Okay. Predictive, ownership, securing companies. Okay. True or false?
This is all wish list.
Yeah. An effective AppSec, and I want a true or false to hear this. An effective AppSec program will require more developers than testers.
More skilled developers than testers.
True or false?
True.
Again, to towards the
It's connected to your previous question. I think developers need to be a bit more testers, take ownership on what they create.
Okay.
Yeah, I think same.
It's same. Okay, so if I just flip, will we require more testers or more developers for the security? Do you? Will we require more testers to have a more secure app or more secure developers?
I would just modify the question because we are moving into an agile world where you will have
Developer
same person performing multiple
Okay.
roles.
Okay, so let's move to the next one. Again, a true-false question. It says that the security gates are still a namesake. If one does not pass the security gate, then the management accepts the risks and move on.
I would say it's a business decision. So when there is a security,
True or false?
it's false.
It's false, okay.
I think false again. It's primarily management and the security functions that these two sort of arrive at these things rather than the other way around.
Okay. You are not from any organization.
No, but I would say, this is why it's easy for me to say what I think out there. I think it's closer to true, actually, and with your permission I'll add a sentence because I think it's my fault, and by my fault I mean application security people. In the past, it's changing now. In the past, we became a big wall of no. No, you cannot do that. No, you cannot do this. No, you need to stop. SQL injection, stop everything. This is crying wolf all the time. And I think if this does not change, then yes, it will become more and more true.
I think it's a very practical question. I will say it's true, but as long as the decision is risk-aware decision, that would help. Yeah, that helps.
Okay. But you think that in a practical world it's true?
Yeah, it's true. At times, even if there are, say, defects or severities, as per the business need, we need to go ahead and release it. We can't say that, okay, only because some SQL injection is there and we can't release it. But we need to see that how we can circumvent that and take a risk-aware decision and then do the thing.
I mean, collaborative rather than
Of course.
Okay.
So we justify with the compensatory control.
Yeah.
Unless it is satisfactory, it will not be.
Okay. And I'll start Anand with you there. Give me 3 words which you want your AppSec program should have. Not faster, better, cheaper.
No. So it's agile, predictive, and the last word would be the risk-aware.
Risk aware. Okay, that's a good one.
I would say speed of DevOps. When you put the sec between the dev and the ops, you don't want it to disturb. You want it to be the same speed as DevOps.
Speed.
Speed of DevOps.
Speed of
I want the DevOps to dictate the speed and not any other thing.
Okay.
I think it should be quick, it should be robust and collaborative.
Collaborate.
Developer friendly, budget friendly.
Yeah,
So that's very important. You can't have a AppSec program eating up entire IT budget, and then I would say risk cover.
Risk cover. Yeah, I think that's a good one, the budget friendly. And the last rapid fire question, and again, I want your inputs. Anand, start with say that if you want to share one improvement which you think your current AppSec program should
Adherence
adherence. Nice one.
and compliance.
Okay.
Again, ownership. I think that when I come to speak, I give talks in companies and I ask who is involved in security. I see the 4 or 5 people in the security team raise their hands. I want everyone to raise their hands. I want developers, QA testers,
Okay.
own security.
Ownership.
To add to both, the lesser regression.
Lesson?
Regression.
Yeah.
I want to automate as much as possible.
Automate as well. Yeah, that's also good. Right? Automate as much as possible. Good, gentlemen. Thank you for your time. Before I summarize for all of us, any questions from the audience? Yes. Thank you so much. Mike's.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and a wonderful session. Want to just ask you about, as I really appreciate your thoughts about the secure coding practices, and yes, developer taking a lot of ownership, playing a dual role as a tester. At the same time, what are your thoughts about running the application cyber ranges for the developers to at least check those skill set, be it across site scripting or SQL injection? Do they know about that? How do they test those skills in a lab environment?
Is going to take on that? So your question is saying that how the dev, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I want to say that I just want to ask, apart from the regular training, do we also think about the application hackathons or a cyber ranges for the developer community?
Okay.
So we have a CTF type of event that happens within company, and the smaller events happening in each of the vertical. So this split into 2 parts. One is best ethical hacker, where the companies talent try to hack on a particular technology or an application. The second is the best coder, where you want to look at whether the developers have secure coding ability in a full stack manner. So it's not the Java code or a C# code. It's about whether a Java-based program deployed on a AWS and that can be securely behave. So that's how we consider it as a test.
So just to add from my point, having seen many organizations adopting the bug bounty program, or they are also running the hackathons, which are open not just to internal employees but to the external world. And these are the attempt to make developers learn from what they call as stress testing, loading that into developer to the testing world rather than just doing some kind of a silo training or a CBT kind of thing. And we have seen the effectiveness of that has been huge. That's
I see a lot of organizations moving away from the concept of champions. What we sometimes see is that when there's a champion in team, security champion, then you have a bug, makes success, it's his job, not mine. You need to do something with cryptography, I don't know nothing about it, this is why he's here. Eventually also he's the one to blame, so it's really ungratifying and no one learns from it. We see people moving more and more towards a model of, not sure how to call it, but security club, when there is some sort of process, everyone who wants to joins. It's usually interesting. There are talks, there are CTFs, there are bug bounties, internal ones, people of security knowledge from all over the industry comes to these companies and give talks. We actually see much more improvement in these companies that are invested in creating a secure culture than the other way of making champions that are in charge of specific issues.
Sure. Any other questions? I think Vikram, that question falls to you mainly, saying that how the faster changes which are happening, whether it's a small or big, or whether it's a campaign or the change in the day, let's say on the industry, how do we ensure that the bare minimum basic segregation goes through?
I guess
Correct question.
I guess it's a mix of two words out there. So one, we're talking about automation and automating as many security checks as possible, such that the turnaround time is faster. So let's say there's an application or a change that is going live, and let's say the overall top 10 checks is sufficient. There should not be any need of manual intervention for that change to go live. However, if there is a slightly more complex change or application that would need maybe a manual review, that is where we should probably think about investing higher up in the SDLC, such that changes are detected early and problems are fixed at an earlier stage. The second aspect is from a process standpoint, that what are the checks or what are those tollgates that you implement. So I think that's primarily a process-related decision that one needs to make as to how to categorize changes or applications that would qualify for a security check. There would be bypasses, there would be things that would get missed, but that's where we should fall back to in-production monitoring to be in a position to detect what goes live without, let's say, authorization, for example.
Any other questions?
So my question basically was on different products doing, some product doing SaaS, some product doing DaaS, and some product doing automated penetration testing, right? What's your view on aggregating this vulnerabilities at one place and giving a consolidated view to management so that you can discover decision can be made?
Last question, and that's your area. How do you have a consolidated view?
First of all, the necessity is clear. I mean, having everything in one dashboard is always good. Especially when you're using different tools on different stages. Probably use SaaS just for coding, maybe IaaS when doing testing, DaaS you can do in testing or even on production. Production you would probably also want to add some penetration testing or bounty. What we do, I can give you the example of Checkmarx, but it's also relevant for other vendors, obviously. We put a lot of effort in combining the results, and it's improving all the time. The reasons for that is, first of all, to have more confidence in the results. If you get the same results for several tools, you should probably take a look at it. Maybe some tools can say that another tool gave a false positive. It's also a very good information. Some tools like SaaS have very clear visibility into the code. It's classic white box, where DaaS don't. So maybe if you can use DaaS or IaaS together with SaaS, the findings of IaaS can be reflected to you to the exact point in code where SaaS gives you. So obviously, it's very, very necessary, and we're working on it to make a very clear platform, very useful platform, and I think the entire industry is going towards that, and the platform will probably be open to other options, for example, add your bug bounty results or whatever else you have.
So there are vulnerability aggregators softwares available which you can use, which could take the output of various SAS, AST tools and provide you the dashboard. You need to work on a dashboard to qualify the vulnerabilities. That's a lengthy task, and most of the time the questions which are asked to AppSec team is, can you tell me, are there showstoppers which can stop my release? So these are the questions that come, and you need to run through the dashboard and identify if there are any real exploitable issues. And that's where the trials will come, that you put your foot down and say that I can't allow release of this software. You need to qualify it in a business impact terms so that your decision is backed by a proper data. Hope I answered. Thank you.
Any further last question?
My question is, what is a good metric to say my application is secure? Vulnerability is found to fixed on time, it gets into production, no hack happened so far. What metric can I take to say my application is secure?
Excellent question. I think Anand, I want to start with you on this.
Okay. I think everything is important, but I would say that early detection and early remediation will definitely should be part of the metrics, because it would minimize the efforts if at all it gets detected into production, right? So whole effort through the automation or whatever keywords we have used, it is to move everything to the left side. So as early as possible in the life cycle we can detect and say remediate it. It would definitely minimize the overall effect. So that should be the priority. You can rate it or use it as really.
Yeah. So from my perspective, I can say that the matrix on which a CEO wants to look at, say that vulnerability is not found. But that's a process, that's a maturity. How do you reach there is important. So that in the early stages where you are setting up something where your vulnerability is found but fixed on time is also important. But an idealistic and extreme digitization in AppSec program should drive so that vulnerability is not found, where the developers get trained on time, developers get rectified on time, early detection and automation.
And also, if you want to score your organization and not only the application, a good metric is to see if the same issues coming in again.
On the lighter note, if you're a CISO, you have to find out more vulnerabilities. Okay, so on the sparsity of time, I just want to make a concluding remarks here. Thank you, panelists, for your time and inputs. So one thing which I took out from this session is that the futuristic AppSec program, and as I want to borrow from Anand, is that one, it should be a risk averse. Second, we should adhere to it. And all of other panelists say that it should be fast, speed. And where do I connect this is that this is getting connected to the development community. And that's a good part because it's getting merged with the development community with more and more automation coming into picture, more and more early detection coming into picture. And on top of that, all of us do believe that governance, having a good governance in any program, any security program, which really help. And the last, which we picked up, saying that any program should be definitely drive to some goals, some through matrices. Which side of the table you are sitting will determine which matrices you have, but definitely you should have. And that's where the successful AppSec program will be there. Thank you, Erez, for your patience here. Thank you for my fellow panelists for this talk. Thank you very much.